Hello. So this is a small copse in the Peak District, and you might be able to just make it out. And this is a very wide-angled lens, but I'll just try and go down here. Whoop, this is going to be it. Oh God! It's basically the remnants of a disused mine. This particular mine being called Clear the Way Mine, and here you've got this cutting. You can see where they've actually channeled into a rock seam here on the left. You've got these now big tree trunks that have been cut, been lobbed and thrown down, but it is man-made. It's a man-made feature, but nevertheless, it's quite interesting if you'd managed to get through it without being trapped, of course, or falling down something. Yeah, I suspect this is not exactly the safest place to walk. Under these leaves, I suspect there's quite a not exactly firm ground. One of the first resolutions for 2021 from John is don't record yourself when you just walked up a hill and are breathless. It scares the viewers. Been here before. If you've ever watched watched any of my videos from last year, long and rambling ones, then I was here. I was here many times. Actually, sat further back there, gesticulating about there being another mine up there on the top of that hill. Sorry, over there. It seems a long way away. Which is Starve House Mine. It was a peculiar name for a mine, and I did some research and I could find no trace of why it was called that, apart from the obvious. Slowed the breath a bit, so it's totally dead here today, which is probably the main reason why I came. I was hoping it was going to be pretty quiet. It always is, but I've literally only seen one farmer leaning on his wall, looking at his sheep and talking quite loudly in his mobile phone. This last year was, I first came here in February 2020 on a very cold day. Had a glorious walk, but there was actually snow up in the hills, not too far from here, and that was it. Because then it was about a month or so later, lockdown happened, and we couldn't really go anywhere until May. And around that time, I decided to come back, but explore around and about. And I noticed that on the maps there was some disused mines and quarries. Thought I'd try and find them, and this is one of them. It's more. I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't swing you around. This is probably really the start of one. It's very, very long, very, very large. But yeah, cutting to the chase, it was definitely a place of sanctuary, some to go. Okay. This might not look very much, but according to the maps, here was where they built a big dam to have a purpose-built water source for washing the ore, because the mine around here, many of the mines around this area, were mining for lead. And if you go back 200 years ago, and from there, you know, lead was essential for the economy at the time, whether it was to do with engineering, housing, roofing. And at one time it was I think the second biggest industry after farming or wool. It's going back a while. Now the reason why these mines had to have their own water supply wasn't actually because they're in relatively remote places, although that probably was a factor. It was because they weren't allowed to wash poisonous lead ore in the same water supply that would be used for the local inhabitants. Now, if there is ever a picture of cuteness, it is that. You see the little spring lambs, these are very young. There's one saying, come on, bugger off. They're all munching over there, they're all eating, can you see? Okay, onwards and upwards. Oh yeah, so you can probably see that hill over there on the other side. So as I've done in the past, this is not going to be a massive walk. I'm just going to walk right to the very end of this mine that runs along and way over in the distance, and then up over the top of that hill to where the other mine is. Oh, there's a bit of headbutting going on there. Okay, let's get a move on. It's a glorious, glorious time of the year, spring. It really is. Nature, getting out, seeing all this new growth, whether it be field of cattle, or just the trees and the green sprouts, the small little signs of new life, as we well and truly say goodbye to that horrible winter. Starting to see where those trees are, that's where I've come from, up the hill, where the mine ran right up there, and then I'm going to slowly pan left to right. Hopefully you can see here between this first wall and that one just in the mid-ground, that's the old workings of this huge mine. It goes on and on and on, way beyond the skyline, just where my finger is. Oh, there it is. It's a huge, huge operation, or was anyway. Incredible. Okay, well, still got a bit to go. Way over there, when you think about there's a paraglider, and that sort of direction is where Castleton is, for those of you who live relatively locally. So you expect to see quite a few of those knocking about. There's a nice breeze, which is an absolute godsend, because otherwise, I think here it's a little cooler than where I live, but where I live it's supposed to be hitting about 17 degrees, 19 degrees centigrade. Here I think it's supposed to be about 11 or 12. I've got my camera with me, but I didn't expect to see anything really photo worthy. The light is far too harsh, and Oasis is a fantastic walk. It's a fantastic getaway. There's not an awful lot of subject matter, if you know what I mean. Less wind here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I can see lots of cows. I can't see any sheep, so either the cows are imitating the sheep or the sheep are camouflaged. Can you just about tell, if I just pan you over to the right there, can you actually see all these mounds, grassy mounds around here? Shame I can't get it. I'm actually leaning on a farm gate here. And that is all the, sort of like the aftermath of this mining activity, the digging. And whilst the sun is very much been a bit of a pain here, but you can see all the way stretching right down again to see where the top of those trees are where I walked up, and that was a good walk coming up that hill through the trees where there'd been mining activity. And then I swing you around, by no means is this the end, it carries on. So let's make a move to the next stage. First of all, I need to go through this gate. I've got my alcohol gel, don't worry.